Good morning. I would ask you to take a nice breath in and a big sigh. Let the breathing come back to normal. Just feel the texture of the breath. So, welcome. Good morning. This is Drake. My name is Drake, and this is Touching the Edge. And welcome to the 40-day program, an initiation, or actually, I should say, an invitation to genius. Maybe we should call it an initiation to genius. But the actual 40-day practice is called an invitation to genius. And we want to always remember that when we invite genius into our life, genius is also inviting us to take part in its fulfillment. And so, I'm really happy to be part of this with you. I actually just did a recording. It was pretty good, I thought. It was 15 minutes long. And I'm really working to keep these shorter. So I'm re-recording. So I just want to bring up just a couple very, very quick details. Number one, in the course of the arc of this 40-day program, this 40-day practice, I'll share with you elements of how I structure my own practice and some of the genesis of it. And clearly, in case you haven't picked it up, I bet you have, reading is a big part of mine. And so, in developing your 40-day practice, remember what's called the three pillars: study, practice, and community. And we need all three of those. And so community is very important, and I'm looking to create and initiate some sort of community within people who are interested in igniting genius and supporting other people in the ignition of genius. Genius is about where you feel need. Where you feel need, but at the same time have the ability to focus on where you want to get to rather than what's the impediment. Even though we have the impediment, if we only focus on that, we tend to promote fear and hatred. And what I would call diabolical genius, which is about trying to destroy something rather than trying to build something. I just want to today really focus on one element of that, and that is study. Now, I want to suggest to you that study is vitally important for stimulating genius. It doesn't have to be books. It can be YouTube videos. It can be, podcasts. But the idea is to have a regular study. I would suggest realizing that you really need genius in your life, and we actually need it too. We need your genius. We are each given some unique element that we are given to do in this world. And fulfilling it creates a positive change for all of us. And by the way, when you commit to your genius, you are committing to an expression and a building of your own self-confidence, which is going to make you more effective as you move through the world. You're going to be more effective at creating change in whatever, not just in the area that you're focused on, but other areas as well. So I'm going to start doing what I'm going to be calling Books on Thursday. So I'm going to show you a series of books every Thursday, and not necessarily my favorite books, but books that are interesting to me and have had a positive effect in my life for whatever reason. So one that I have here, it's always going to be three books, and then I'll pick a fourth book just at random. Now, the first one I want to show you today is called the Hagregaku, the medieval book of the samurai. This is one of my foundational texts. It's a guide to the medieval samurai. Of course, a lot of it doesn't fit, and it doesn't fit directly, but it's about this relationship to this incredible commitment that it took to be a samurai. One of the things they would say is that if you're not committed to get at least one more thing done after you die, then you're not really a samurai. So I'm looking to create a commitment that is living life as an oath, that is not going to be altered by the behaviors of others. Even if they resort to cannibalism, I don't have to change my relationship to kindness. It doesn't mean I'm not going to set limits, but if I become absorbed in their attitude and their relationship to life, I come into their view of the world, and that's not going to work for me. Another book that I really would like to share with you is Start Where You Are by Pema Children. Now, this is a really great book. This is actually not my favorite book of hers. My favorite book is called The Wisdom of No Escape. I often loan books out and sometimes don't get them back. So I want to suggest The Wisdom of No Escape. Also this book, Start Where You Are. But I also really want to suggest Pema Children as a really great source. There's a tremendous amount of videos on YouTube channel, from Pema Children. She is one of the truly, truly great teachers. And by the way, if you're a woman, it's a good idea to find someone who you can relate to as a woman sometimes. Not that you shouldn't be open to other teachers, but it's also important to find teachers that we can relate to their experience. The last book of the three I'm going to show you right now, other than the one that I'm going to pick, is called You Can Heal Your Life. This is another great, great book, a foundational text. Louise Hay was a dynamite lady as far as I know and what I've studied about her. She also was the creator of the publishing house Hay House. Her story is very inspirational, and a big part of her program, it's in large part about health, but it's about creating affirmations and realizing that your attitude really matters. Creating affirmations, so I highly suggest trying her book out and activating some of those affirmations. One more book. Let's see what we can do. What just jumps out at me here today? Okay, I'm going to pull this one up. Alexander. This is actually a 3-part biography on Alexander. This is actually book 2. This was a good series. I've read many biographies of Alexander the Great, and I think he's a fascinating character because he was so influential in our society. So much of what, even now, different attitudes we have about figures like Jesus or even the devil, a lot of those come from attitudes people had about Alexander the Great. So I want to make sure I don't go too far again. One last story I want to tell you about Alexander the Great. There's the story about Alexander the Great and the Gordian knot. So supposedly, Alexander had been taught about prophecy. Apparently, he really believed that he was part of what was to be prophesized. He really felt that he was a direct descendant of people like Achilles. He really felt like he was in that arc of Greek history. And so when he went to when he went to India in this battle with the Persians, and was committed to really being this worldwide conqueror, there was apparently a prophecy that whoever was able to untangle the Gordian knot would someday be the ruler of Asia. So he went to this, and supposedly he went to this knot, this huge, super, super tight knot that was impossible to untangle. And apparently he gazed at it for a moment, and then all of a sudden took his sword out, and with a mighty chopped that knot in half and had the knot fall open. Everyone was supposedly in shock about this. So I want to bring this up on 2 levels. One is innovation. Genius is about innovation. Genius is about doing something that surprises everyone, even you. And that is, by the way, the best de-escalation is action that surprises everyone, even you. Genius is also about conviction. It's about acting with conviction. It's about not having doubt when you really find your relationship to it. Not trying to pretend it, but working to develop a relationship that you absolutely let genius flow through you. It's not genius that chops the knot. It's not you that chops the knot, it is genius. So, thank you for your time. Please come back and check me out every day for the 40 days, or whatever works for you. And remember, if you can shift this relationship to your emotions during these 40 days, you can shift it for a lifetime. I'm going to ring the bell. I'm going to ask you to listen carefully. Here we go. What would it be like? What would it be like to commit yourself to genius? How might your life unfold? I bring my hands into prayer position and I bow to you. And I say, Namaste. Life is about what you do. Have a good day.